Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to my video. Today I will try to work through an explanation as to what strings and string arrays and string literals are. I will begin by reading off the Arduino website. Variables, data types, string, string. Description. Text strings can be represented in two ways. You can use the string data type, which is part of the core as of version 0019, or you can make a string out of an array of type char and null terminate it. This page described the latter method. It should be present tense. This page describes the latter method. The Arduino website has terrible grammar. I don't know why. For more details on the string object, which gives you more functionality at the cost of more memory, see the string object page. Syntax. All of the following are valid declarations for strings. Char, str1 in square brackets 15, semicolon. And I can maybe pause and study this. Possibilities for declaring strings. Declare an array of chars without initializing it, as in str1. Declare an array of chars with one extra character, and the compiler will add the required null character, as in str2. Explicitly add the null character, str3. I suppose this is the null character here. Initialize with a string constant in quotation marks. The compiler will size the array to fit the string constant and a terminating null character, str4. Initialize the array with an explicit size and string constant, str5. Initialize the array, leaving extra space for a larger string, str6. So they've gone above the number of characters required in the array. Null termination. Generally, strings are terminated with a null character, ASCII code 0. This allows functions like serial.print to tell where the end of a string is. Otherwise, they would continue reading subsequent bytes of memory that aren't actually part of the string. This means that your string needs to have space for one more character than the text you want it to contain. This is why str2 and str5 need to be 8 characters, even though Arduino is only 7. The last position is automatically filled with a null character, str4. Will be automatically sized to 8 characters, 1 for the extra null. In str3, we've explicitly included the character written /0 ourselves. Note that it's possible to have a string without a final null character. Example, if you had specified the length of str2 as 7 instead of 8. This will break most functions that use strings, so you shouldn't do it intentionally. If you notice something behaving strangely, operating on characters not in the string, however, this could be the problem. Single quotes or double quotes. Strings are always defined inside double quotes, and characters are always defined. Start that last sentence again. Single quotes or double quotes. Strings are always defined inside double quotes, and characters are always defined inside single quotes. Wrapping long strings. You can wrap long strings like this. Char, my string, square brackets, equals, this is the first line, this is the second line, etc. Arrays of strings. It is often convenient when working with large amounts of text, such as a project with an LCD display, to set up an array of strings. Because strings themselves are arrays, this is actually an example of a two-dimensional array. In the code below, the asterisk after the data type char indicates that this is an array of pointers. All array names are actually pointers, so this is required to make an array of arrays. Pointers are one of the more esoteric parts of C++ for beginners to understand, but it isn't necessary to understand pointers in detail to use them effectively here. Example code. Char asterisk my strings square brackets equals this is string 1, this is string 2, etc. Void setup serial.begin, void loop, a for loop is used, int I is set to 0 as a counter. When I is less than 6, stay in the loop, and then add a count to the counter each time it cycles through the loop. Serial print ln my strings, and this is an array, and it should select a different one each time it goes through the loop with a delay of 500. Right, so here is some sample code. So a string is a sequence of characters. This is how the programming deals with written text. In this sketch, the message will be repeatedly sent to the serial monitor, which I clicked and opened, and it's writing to the serial monitor. So a character array is created, which I've called greeting, and I've set the text to how you doin'. Serial.begin initializes the serial monitor. The greeting is content position 0 in the array. There really is only one greeting. String literals are enclosed in double quotation marks. A string literal is actually an array of the type char. Alright, so this is a different example, and I took it off the Arduino website for example code for strings. So I'm just going to stumble through this. So there is an array of characters, and I suppose this is a different type of writing style. And just from a textbook source, it says that this asterisk indicates a pointer. The idea is that the name points to the first char element of the char array. Anyway, in this array there are 6 different values or strings. Serial.begin, so the serial monitor is initialized. There's a for loop, and it loops for 6 times. Each time it increments, it prints one of the characters from the array, and this value changes each time it goes through the for loop, and it'll cycle through 1 to 6 with a 500 millisecond delay. And I'll open up the serial monitor. That's what it looks like. I added some time.